Good evening. So, today the topic that we're going to start with is active and passive voice. So, today we're going to start with English grammar, and I know it's something that it's not a subject it's not a subject that we've done till now, but still, I'll try my best to teach this to all the people who have any problem with active and passive voice, okay? So we're gonna attempt some questions and also first of all learn what is active and passive voice. Okay, so let us start, shall we? So though in our curriculum we only have passive voice, I'll try to do both active and passive voice. Okay, so let us start. First, let us write the heading: active, active and passive voice. Active and passive voice. So let us start. Now, you know, let me give you some sentences first, okay? Let me give you some sentence and I'll like if you understand the difference, then it's good. Otherwise, I'm here to make you understand the difference between those two sentences, okay? And then I'll explain in detail, okay? So, for example, if I say he catched the ball. He catched the ball. Now I'm saying the ball was catched by him. He catched the ball. The ball was catched by him. Now, if you read these two sentences, does it make any difference? Now, there are like of course, you'll say some will say that there's a difference, some will say there isn't. So we're gonna divide them, okay, on the basis of meaning and the meaning the sentences wish to convey, and on the basis of their formation. Okay, so for example, now let's come to meaning. For example, I give you this sentence: he catched the ball was catched by him. So when you listen to both these sentences, meaning wise, do they convey the same meaning or not? I'll give you some time, think about it. He catched the ball was catched by him. Do these two sentences make convey the same meaning, or is there any difference? Okay, so I'll give you some time. First, you yourself should think about it. Otherwise, I'm here, okay? So, I think that you might have got the answer or not. If you don't, I'll tell you. The meaning is same. It is correct. Meaning is same in both the cases. But formation, I think you will get the answer. Formation is not correct. It's not correct. It's not same for both these sentences. For both the sentences, it's really not same. So, what is the difference basically? What is the difference? Exactly, the meaning is same, formation is different, but then how, like, if you are asked a question that how is their formation different, then you have to say something, right? So let us do one thing, let us erase them, okay, and now let us discuss them in detail. In the first sentence, okay, we'll mark it as first, and here we'll mark it again. There are parts of sentences, right? You must have learned about parts of speech, right? So in this sentence, each word has some significance. Each word belongs to a different category. What is he? As a separate thing, not in this context of the sentence. He is what? He is a pronoun, right? Catched. What is catched? Catched is a verb. The is an article, and ball is a noun. Okay, so understood the parts of speech, right? He is the pronoun, this is the verb, it is the pronoun, verb, article and noun. Wait, now, but if you take it in the context of the sentence, then they can further be divided, right? No, he is what? He is the doer of the action. Doer of the action. He is the doer of the action. You can see that he catched the ball. Who catched the ball? Who did that action of catching the ball? It was he who did that. So he is the doer of the action. Action is what? Catching. He catched the ball, so he's the doer. And doer of the action. You know, actually, subject. What is a subject in a sentence? Subject is the one about whom we talk about. Okay, you can say, many kids say that subject is the doer of the action, but not necessarily. Subject is not always the doer of the action. Subject is basically the one who is being talked about in the sentence. Now, who is being talked about? He catch the ball, so we're talking about some boy, right? Someone, he. So he is the doer of the action, or we can say the subject. Wait, subject. Catched, again, catched is again a verb, so we won't write it. Let's not write it. Verb. The ball. Okay, we'll take the ball as a whole word here. What is the ball here? The ball, as we can say here, is the receiver of the action. It is the receiver of the action. So he catched the ball. Okay, he catched the ball. That means he um he did the action, and the ball received. Like, the ball was what happened to the ball? The ball was catched by him. As you can see, the ball was catched by him, right? So here the action of catching is received by what? The ball. Now, and it is termed as the object here, you know, the one which receives the action. So you've understood, right? Like, he is the subject, catched is the verb, and the ball is the object. Now the doer, the subject, this is the formation of the sentence. Therefore the formation, we discussed about formation first. What? Formation is what? The formation of the sentences. First there was the verb, first there was the subject plus verb plus object. Okay, this is the sentence formation. Now let us move to the second sentence. Let us mark it as the second sentence. In the second sentence, we see what's written. The ball was catched by him. So let me mark it here only. The is again the article. Ball is what? Noun. Was catched. Was catched is the whole verb only. By is a preposition. And him is basically a pronoun only. Pronoun. The ball was catched by him. Now, if we broadly, again categorize them. The ball, we'll take the ball as one. The ball was catched by him. Now, what many kids do is they think that the sentence always remains in this formation. No, it's not necessary that this sentence always remains in this formation only, subject, verb, object. They'll write the ball as the subject and him as the object. But is the ball catching the man, or is the man catching the ball? Here also, as the meaning is the same, as we have discussed earlier, the ball was catched by him. Here also, the ball is only the receiver of the action. The ball was catched by him, so ball was catched. It's not the ball catched, ball was catched. So it's the action is still done by him, but the formation has been changed. So the ball here is again the object, okay, the receiver of the action. Then was catched is the verb, by is the preposition. Now whenever there is an action, whenever we put the object first, we, and of course we can't say that the ball was catched him, we have to add some of the other preposition so that it becomes grammatically correct. So here by is needed, and him is again the subject. Wait, the subject is him. So here if we write the formation of the sentence, the here the formation of the sentence would be what? Object plus verb plus subject. So this is how we can say that the formation is different. So in a sentence, if the subject comes first, the doer of the action comes first, and the object comes at last, then we say that that object is in active voice. And if it is the opposite, if the object comes first, the receiver of the action comes first, and then the doer, then it's termed as passive voice. Passive voice. Okay, so this is what active and passive voice is. Okay, this is what the difference is, that thus the differences between the subject and the object does not mean, if the verb remains at the same place, does not mean there is not a change in the verb, as we saw that from catched it transformed into was catched, right? So there is of course a difference in the verb also, which we'll further discuss. Okay, now in the active is, wait, let me scroll it. So now let us learn about the conversion of sentences. What things are to be kept in mind when we change the sentence from active to passive voice? So let us note down those rules of conversion. We know that the object transforms into the subject. Okay, this is the first and foremost rule. Now, the verb, you know, the verb, it depends. Now this is going to be a big column that I'm going to make. The verb changes, but the tense remains the same. There is a change in the verb, but the tense remains the same. In the same. For example, let us write a whole table. We have some verbs, we have some tenses. For example, in active voice, simple past, simple past changes into what? Changes into, like suppose if I say, it depends, okay, upon the verb, upon the subject. If I write give or gives, then it will convert it to is plus verb's third form. Or let us write is, am, or are plus verb's third form. Okay, that means whatever is written there, suppose whatever verb is written, let me erase this and write, we have verbs first form which is given there, or s or es is added. Okay, so that would change into is, am, are plus that verb's third form. For example, if we have written he takes or they take the food. Let me give a sentence. It will change into what? The food is. Now it depends on the sub object. The food is singular, so is taken. Third form of take is taken. Is taken by them. The food is taken by them. The food comes as it is by them. Now, as I said, that by is very fixed and very common. So by would come at the last, by plus the subject in the pronoun form. For example, they turns to them, okay, as the receiver of the action then, and as they're at the last of the sentence, by them, and the verb changes like this. Second, let's take present continuous. In present continuous we have verbs first form plus ing. Now it turns to is, am, or are plus being plus verbs third form. Okay, that means if I write they are taking the food, then it would turn to the food is being taken. Is being taken by them. Okay, this is, and then we have present perfect tense. So in present perfect tense, for example, I gave a sentence, they have taken the food. So has or have plus verbs third form changes into the food has been taken by them. Has or have been plus they have taken the food has been taken by them. Okay, this is in case of past perfect. Okay, now let's move to present tense. Past tense, sorry, this was our present tense. Let me draw a divide here. This was our present tense. Now we'll move to past tense. In past tense, let us take the sentence, they took the food. So verb second form is there, they took the food changes into the food was taken. Was or were plus verbs third form. Now if you notice the pattern, our first was he catched the ball. So catched was in past simple. So the ball was catched by him. So they took the food was taken by them. Okay. In past continuous what happens is was or were plus verbs first form plus ing. They were taking the food. The food was being taken. Was being taken by them. Okay, they were taking the food was being taken by them. Okay, in past perfect, what happens is past perfect is they had taken the food. Had plus verbs third form. They had taken the food turns to the food had been taken by them. The food had been taken. They had taken the food had been taken by them. Okay, this is in case of past tense. Now, these rules apply in present tense. These rules apply only for in future tense. These rules apply for only simple future. For past, future continuous and future perfect, these rules do not apply. So it's not impossible. It's impossible to turn them into from active voice to passive voice. Okay, so the whole thing only applies for simple future. In simple future, if we have they will take, will or shall plus verbs for first form, they will take the food will be taken by them. The food will shall be taken. Will be taken. They will take the food, will be taken. So this is what active passive voice is according to verb. This is the whole table according to different tenses. So this is how the verbs change. Okay, now let us look at some examples and then we'll try to do exercises. Okay, suppose one example is she was um throwing a stone. She was throwing a stone. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll write a stone in converting it from active to passive. A stone, and we'll write by her at the last. Okay, this is how we complete the sentence. Now in the middle, this is just for reference. Of course, like while writing the sentence, you have to write it in continuation. A stone throwing, was throwing. This is the verb. Now if we notice, was throwing is in past continuous tense. So in past continuous tense, we have learned that it's was or were plus being plus the verb's third form. So as the stone is singular, we'll write a stone was being, third form of throwing is thrown. A stone was being thrown by her. Okay, this is how we have to convert. Let me give two more examples. Okay, for example, Ram has lost the crayons. So we'll write in passive voice the crayons and at the last by Ram. Okay, the crayons. Now we can see the verb is has lost, so it is in present perfect. Present perfect. So in present perfect, we know that Ram has lost the crayons. So the conversion would be has or have been plus word's third form. So the crayons, as the crayons, they're plural. So we'll write have. The crayons have been lost by him, by Ram. The crayons have been lost by Ram. Have been lost. And our last example is we have stolen the jewels. We have stolen the jewels. So in this sentence, we'll write the jewels by us. Okay, this is the whole sentence. Now have stolen. Have stolen is again what? Present perfect. So let me change the tense just a bit. Let me write we had stolen. We had stolen. So had stolen is in past perfect, and in past perfect we know that the sentence formation is have or has been plus the verb's third form. That means the same verb. Okay, so the jewels, as they are in plural, we'll write the jewels have Wait, it's had. Sorry. Had been stolen. It's not have, it's had here. Because had is in present perfect. The jewels had been stolen by us. I think you've understood. So these are the examples of active and passive voice. So let us start with the exercise now. Let us start with the exercise. Of active and passive voice. Okay. First sentence is I will finish the essay in 2 minutes. First, I'll give you some time, try to think about it, and then I'll give the answer. Try to remember all those clues that we have given, all those formulas that we have done recently about changing the word. Otherwise, it's quite easy. Okay, so let me give the answer now. Answer is I will finish the essay in 2 minutes. Now, what are we talking about here? I will finish what? The essay. So we'll write the essay. Now here I'll try to convert it in continuation so that you know how to do it. The essay. I will finish. Will finish is the verb here. So will finish is in future tense. So the essay will have, wait, not have, will be finished in, now this would come, this is just an extra part of the sentence which would come, which if you want to put it at the last, you can write it in the last. The essay will be finished by me in 2 minutes, or the essay will be finished in 2 minutes by me. In 2 minutes by me will be finished. Okay, this is the first question. Now the second question is the birds have finished the grain. Birds have finished the grain. Okay, try to find the answer to it first. Okay, now let us start. The grain have finished. Now have finished is in what? Present past. The birds have finished the grain, so the grain has been finished by the birds. Okay, now the next question I'm giving is an interrogative question. So let me try to, it goes like this: who broke the glass? Try to do it by yourself, otherwise I'm here, because It's an interrogative sentence, so that's why. Now, who broke the glass will be, it would not be the glass was broken by whom. It's an incomplete, it's not grammatically the correct, the formation is not grammatically correct. You know, we in these sentences, we never put the we can never put the object at first, right? We can't say it like the glass was broken by whom. Okay, we like the sentence is correct, just the formation should be a little more accurate. So it should be by whom. You know, by whom is the question word, so this would come first. By whom was the glass broken? By whom was the glass broken? Was the glass. Now I think some things have to be learnt, but yeah, you know that the object never comes first. It does come first from the verb and all, but yes, the question word will come first. Or you can also write it as who was this, who was the glass broken by, but it's not really that accurate. This one's more grammatically correct. Okay, so this was a question. Now the next question is, uh, let me find a new good question. Okay, next question is, you ought to return the book today. You ought to return the book today. Try to make try to find the answer. Okay. So the answer to this question is, you know, to return the book. The book is the object, so I'll write the book. You ought to return the book. Now, when we have modals like ought, then what happens is, first let me write the sentence. The book is to be returned by you. Now, the book is ought to be returned. Ought to be returned, okay? So here be, comes here because of the presence of ought. The book is ought to be returned by you. Okay. Otherwise, if ought was not there, if it's like you, uh, if it's like return the book today, so the book like, though that sentence would not be correct, because it would again be the book is ought to be returned or the book should be returned. But when should, must, or ought come, when any modals come here, if could comes, if would comes, then be will be there. You must return the book. Is the book must be returned, the book should be returned, the book is ought to be returned. Okay, understand this. Now the next sentence, though I'm not finding any special sentences, let me try to find sentences first. Okay, till now I found that these sentences are enough, and as our syllabus is basically about passive voice, so it's basically about the conversion of active to passive, not passive to active. But if still, for the clarity, if you want a video regarding conversion from passive to active voice, you can always comment down below. Okay, so this was the video about our English grammar. It was the first topic. I will post more such videos now about regarding our English grammar, and then we try to complete it as soon as possible. Thank you.